I have received so many emails and so many messages with inspiring stories from you guys that I just want to thank you so much to allow me to be a part of your life, whether it's helping you learn, helping you change your daily thoughts or attitude, or just, in some cases people have said that I've changed their lives, and I don't know how to thank you, because it's amazing. It's amazing to hear, and I am inspired to continue to make these YouTube videos for all of you guys, and I just hope that I hope it continues to help you. You guys are all incredible. Now, today's painting is definitely going to be super easy. I say that a lot, but today's painting is the easiest of all of the paintings that we've done yet so far on this channel. It's focused on definitely the beginner or the intermediate or whatever, or anybody that just wants to follow along and just get in a great mood and just kind of do their thing, you know what I mean? Secondly, a lot of people have wanted to see the paint mixing process, and I've never really had a great way to figure that out yet, because I do a lot of this stuff, kind of like last minute. So what I've done, if you're on my Patreon, you can head over there. This video will be on Patreon, and there will be another video with the actual paint mixing process. I will have that video included in this video. If you're not a part of my Patreon, blah, 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 blah. If you're not a Patreon, head on over. I'll put a link right here, have one down below in the description. You can just, you can head over and get the full effect. I'll have a completed photo of the painting and all that good stuff. So I hope you guys are doing super great today. I love all of you guys. Let's jump into today's painting. All right, so the very first thing you can probably notice, I have some thinned down some black paint, and I also have some thinned down white paint that I use some clear gel and some paint, 50-50 mix, and I've thinned that down, and I just kind of put it up here, 2/3 of the white, and then the 1/3 I put the dark color, and I just brought them together. Nice little even blend. That particular video is also over on Patreon. If you're interested, head below, click the link, head over there to get the full video with that includes the paint mixing and all of that stuff. So make sure to head on over there. All right. So very first thing we are going to do is I have, I'll just probably use this dirty 1-inch brush right here. Wipe it on the paper towel. Super easy painting today. It's a very easy one. This is for beginners. I want you guys to get started. And to get started, you have to do something. So we want to do something nice and easy. All right, so I just kind of wipe that off. I'm going to go straight into, I'm going to take some Prussian blue. And for those of that are watching the video on Patreon, that version, you will see down here below. You're going to see I have all the colors, and I have the description above the color, the name of the paint. All right, we have Prussian blue, ivory black, burnt umber, sap green, cad yellow, yellow ochre, and some cad red, and of course some titanium white. All right. All right, so let's start off just a tiny bit of our Prussian blue here. And you see how I pull it like that? I pull it out super easy from the corner, all right, making a nice little chisel there. Super important when you're loading your brush. You don't want to dive right into the paint, because that's going to cause a problem. All right, so we're going to come right up here. All right, we're going to start on the left corner here, and I'm going to work my way. I generally work like this, about halfway, and then I flip the brush, and then I start on the other corner. I like to keep the corners nice and dark, and by doing what I just did, it prevents me from having to reload right away. All right, and I'm going to start working my way downward, just like so. Ba-boom, there we go. And if you get these little lines in the sky, don't worry about that too much. We'll take care of those. All right, so as I'm working down, I'm going to wipe the brush off, because I do want it to get lighter. I'm going to wipe it off a little bit more. I want the paint to be a nice light color as we go down. That kind of helps with the horizon and depth and stuff like that. It just kind of lets you know that, hey, that area is further away, if that makes sense. And right now I'm slowly working around, just kind of getting rid of any harsh lines. You know, there's no need to clean your brush you know, clean it with, you know, thinner or whatever. There's no need to do that and then, you know, beat the brush and then come back up here just to blend. I find that unnecessary to do that, and this is what I do, what you're seeing right here. I just kind of wipe the brush off, you know, and I just kind of go back over it. Same brush, no cleaning necessary. And I'm going right down into the black, going right down into it, because that'll kind of gray a little bit, gray the blue, and I think that's cool. It grays the blue and it just kind of gives it a whole different effect. All right. All right, let me have a look at that. I'm going to darken it up just a little on the top. So I'm going to go back here into our pile, you see, loading it the same way. And just get a little bit more. I just want it to be a little bit darker in some of the areas. So I'm just going to throw a little bit of this paint down and just kind of work it in a few little areas. And then same thing, slightly less pressure, blending it. And by the way, little tip, you know, when I say that I'm actually like blending it, I'm using little pressure. So I apply the paint with more pressure on the brush. The bristles are bending firmly, they're bending. And then when I come back to blend, it's very light pressure. So what that does is it keeps the paint from coming off of the paintbrush, and you're just kind of using the bristles to do a nice soft blend. I hope that made sense, but that's just what I do, and I thought it'd be a nice little tip for y'all, especially if you're a beginner. Okay. Big sky today. Got something in there. Let me just scratch that out real quick. Okay. Looks pretty cool. All right, now let me set this 1-inch brush down. And I think I'm gonna just grab me a, where are we at? Yeah, I'm just gonna get a fan brush, okay? Now we're gonna get just some color up here in the sky, some white, okay? So if you look down here, you see I'm pulling it through and I flip it over. See that? Pull it, flip it. Pull, flip. All right, pay attention to that flip. It's important. It's super important. All right. All right, now we got some paint on here. So what I want to do is make a super cool cloud, but an easy one. All right. So I'm going to come up here, and it's kind of going to go like a U shape, this whole cloud. Let's see. Do I want to start with the one? Yeah, I want to start with this one because this one's further back. So you see this? Look, I'm using the corner, and I'm going to flip it already because there's more paint on this side. And I'm going to kind of go like this. Corner of the brush. All right. Just like that. And then same thing. I'm going to actually go down here. Let's get a little bit more paint so we can get some more of that crisp white in there. All right. And I'm going to skip a couple areas and just kind of work down. Now I'm just distributing that paint around. Just like this, see? All right, nice and easy. A little bit more of the paint. I want a little bit more white right there, see? That flipping technique is very, very important in my opinion. All right. Now, let's do this. Let me set the, I'm gonna set that fan brush down. Okay, now I don't use these, rarely do I use these, but I have this blender brush here, and I'm actually going to look at some different types of blenders that are out there because now I want to experiment. So I'm grabbing this blender, and I've had this for 3 years, and this is just a standard blender that you guys are probably very familiar with. I use the fan brush, I put the color up there, okay? Now I'm going to carefully, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to do these cool little circles. I'm just not going to touch the top of the cloud. All right? And this is a very, very soft brush. Very soft. And you could flip it and turn it and just, do all kinds of little things with it. All right, you see that right there? Nice. Nice. So now let me do this. Now the only bad thing about this one is there's a lot of little hairs coming out of this. That's why I'm like swiping to try to get some of the hairs off, but I'm not going to let that bother me. You know, and you can give it a little lift if you want. The good thing about the blenders is you can just actually touch the top of the cloud without actually ruining it. And you can definitely do this with like a 1 inch. Wow, there's a lot of hairs in there. Whoop, too many hairs. Let me see, how can I get these out? Because that's gonna bother me. Let me do this. There we go. Just grabbing the 1 inch, just to scoop these hairs out. All right. There we go. Just going to sweep here again. All right, that's enough. All right, you saw that, right? Cool. It maintained all the cool little texture. All right. Back to the fan brush. Let's go right back into our pile of white paint here. Boom. It's a nice white paint. And I want to make this nice and easy, so we're going to put a cloud that kind of goes like this, kind of right down here. So I'm going to do the same thing. See this? I'm going to use the corner. I'm going to leave some of that dark in between the two. More paint. I always flip it. I always flip it. All right, I'm going to come right up like this. This one's not going to go all the way up to the corner. See? See that? Boom, right in, almost right into the horizon. All right, now wipe the fan brush off because I'm going to set that down. All right, and let's just say you don't have a blender. So look, let's grab a 2-inch brush and softly, without touching the top, I'm going to softly, carefully, yeah, come right in here, little circles, very, very soft, very soft. Lift it. Yeah, so I'll definitely test out some blender brushes and see if there's some that I like. Mainly if there's ones that hairs don't come out of so much. All right, so you can do it with a 2-inch, and that's normally what I do, but the blenders really just like preserve the nice, beautiful textures of the cloud. All right. All right. Just getting some paper towels to wipe this brush off real quick. All right, so there we have a nice little cloud. There's 2 little layers of clouds, right? Boom, perfect. All right, let me take a step back. All right. Now we put that dark color in for a reason. So I'm going to grab this 2-inch brush that 1 inch that we've already used. All right, and I'm going to get me a nice yellowish green color, okay? So I'm going to go here. Actually, I'm going to start off by pulling the yellow out first. I'm going to pull the yellow out, flipping it, see, flip it, and then a little bit of green. Mix our green in there, just like this. And let's reach over and get a little bit of yellow ochre, because that's always a good choice. I'm pulling a little bit at a time. You see that? A little bit more of that yellow ochre in there, because I think that's a just awesome color. I'm pulling it out, a little bit more. Something like this, all right? And then I'm going to push. See that? I'm touching and I'm pushing that brush in there. Push it. All right, let me see if this is enough. All right. So I'm going to start back here because I want to put some grass, distant little grass and stuff in. Now this color might not show up right away, okay? But we can go over top of it. All right, little distant grass. It's not too distant. I mean, it's somewhat close. Now you can see that the dark color, I'm going to go back down here. I'm going to get just a little bit more paint, a little bit more yellow, a little bit more ochre. Same color, we're just going to get a little bit more. All right. Just a little bit more. And I like pressing and tapping. It leaves that texture on the brush as well. All right, so these are just like these little hills, all right, kind of drops down like this. See, boom. See that? And the dark color is kind of in there already, and that kind of helps you a little bit. All right, a little bit more there. So I'm just tapping carefully, see, boom. I'm making a little angle, see, just like that. Get some more paint. And let's say if we end up not using some of this, that's okay, because we can just not use it. And I'll show you how to do that. All right, a little bit more yellow here. I'm going to go, actually I went right into this pure yellow. You can see that if you're, depending on which video you're watching. I want to raise this up a hair. So I'm going to put a little bit of yellow there. See that? Boom. And this is just going to raise it, make it a little bit brighter on the top, right? See? Just like a quick highlight. We want this to be an easy painting, okay? We don't want this to be hard. See? And this is just kind of helps separate things a little bit. Okay? So as you can see there, we have like a somewhat of a little hill going. Pretty cool. Okay, all right, now let's move to this section right over here. All right, let's get some green. Back to our regular color, green, yellow ochre, okay? Green, yellow ochre, just a touch of black into this one. Touch of black. Green, yellow ochre, I mean, you saw that, just a dot of black. Tap, and then we're gonna go somewhere right over here. Something like this. See? Go back down, get some more paint. Very important to get some, reload. It's super important. See? Okay, let's darken this up a little bit. Let's get some black and some green and just actually a touch of blue. I want this to be darker. Even though we have dark down, I just want a little bit, I want some variation in here, so boom, there we go. All right, a little bit of dark there. Some may show up, some may not, but it's there. And we can actually, if we want, while we're at it, I guess we could drop just a couple little things of it in here too. It just kind of helps with depth and perception. And as you can see, it starts to look like there could be like a little path or something there, you see? Or something like that. So, all right, now, here we go. Let's see, I'm going to wipe this brush off real quick. I'm just pulling it. I do this often too. I pull the 1 inch through a paper towel just like that. And I'm going to come up here and I want to just get our green and some ochre. See how I'm mixing right into the same pile? Totally fine to do that. So we have some green and some ochre, yellow ochre. All right, green, yellow ochre. Boom. That looks about right. I'm pulling it through. See that? All right, pulling it through, tap on it a little bit. And then I'm just gonna throw, how do I wanna do this? I'm gonna start throwing some dark color and just like this, see? Super easy, go back down, tap some more. I'm just tapping side to side. All right. Not being too, I'm not really worried. I'm just kind of getting it in there. Now I'm going to add a little bit of blue to our pile and a little bit of black, and yeah, I'm going to darken that color up. So a little touch of blue, a little bit of black maybe, just to get some darker color in here. See? Something like that. Let me step back and have a look at that real quick. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. Boom. All right. All right, all right. Looks good, looks good. Don't worry about touching your ground area here. That's fine, that's not a problem. And then let's see here. Let's go over to this side here. So I'm gonna wipe the, let me get another paper towel. I'm gonna wipe this brush off here real quick. Stepping back is super important, because sometimes you have to visualize things, you know, as you're in the process of it. So yeah. So I'm going to go to the left side here. I was trying to just think, should I? All right, I'm just going to stick with my original plan. All right, so I'm going to add some distance stuff here. So I'm going to take me some yellow here. See, I'm pulling it through. Same old brush. I did wipe it off. All right, I'm going to tap into that yellow, and I am going to mix a little bit of white into that, because I want these maybe a little yellow ochre. I don't know. We'll see. And I wanted something like, I wanted it to be like far, you know, kind of far away. So like, you know, you don't really know what it is, but it's back there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. See that? Just tapping some stuff in. And that's okay if I hit our ground, because I'll come back and I can fix that. All right, so now let's get a little bit more yellow ochre and maybe just a touch of that green, because that's gonna darken it up a little bit. All right, and that'll bring it a little bit closer to us, see? See? A little bit more now, a little bit more. And see? And that brings it even closer. You see what I'm saying? Like, it just kind of brings it closer. All right, now remember what I just said about this. We can fix that. So let me get some yellow and a little yellow ochre in there, and tap down into some paint, and then we just kind of, actually, you know what? I'm going to change that color a little bit. I want to put a little yellow ochre in there, a little bit more, I mean. Yeah, something like that, see? Just kind of change it up just a little bit. See that? Yeah, I think that looks good. Nice. And maybe the light's coming this way, you know what I mean? All right, all right. Filbert, let's grab a filbert brush real quick. Yeah, I'll put a tree trunk in there. So let's do this. Filbert brush. Let's just take brown and a little bit of black. See that? Brown, black. Nice and chiseled. Nice and chiseled. And let's do this real quick. Let's start here and go, shoo, yeah. Shoo. Nice little branches and things. I'm using no pressure at all, but I am just putting in all these little, you know, branches and things. Some of that'll show through, some won't. no big deal. And over here, I don't know, maybe more, just more of an indication, you know? Something like this. You could use a liner for this too, you know, if you want. But I just wanted, see, like little tiny indications, more or less. It's not like a, whoop, too dark. So actually, let me lighten that up with some white. And then, see? And the stuff back here is like almost not visible at all. And they might look like little trees and little sticks and, you know, and things like that or whatever. So, all right. All right, one last little, I think we should give this something right about there. Something like this. Yep, all right. Now, wiping the filbert off. And I'm gonna go Yep, all right, back to the 1-inch brush. And 1-inch brush, and then we're gonna get a little bit of white, put it here, and a scoop of the yellow, and some yellow ochre. Just a touch of green. See what this does. More yellow. Now I don't thin down any of the paint, okay? I don't thin down paint. So I just pulled it, I was pulling it through, and I lift straight up. You see that? And let's see, maybe I want it just a little bit more green actually. I don't want it to be like super bright yellow, but I want it to be brighter than what's on there. All right, let's try this. So let's go up here. Yeah, I think that's all right. Go back in, get some more yellow. Tap into the paint, see, tap, tap. And then I'm just putting in a few sections. I'm gonna change that to more yellow ochre, just so it looks a little bit of a different color. And then here, oh, that was a little bit too much, but you get the point. All right, and then we can go over here. I'm just picking just random little areas of this tree, see? To just add some nice little highlights. I'm gonna get some more green. Get some more green. And then I'll come here like this, see? And I keep going back for every single one to reload. And I think that's important, you know, to do. So, and then down here is kind of like a shadow over here, so maybe not do too much there, you know? Maybe that branch just kind of comes out like that. All right. Now, if you want to really get carried away, you can do this. You can just dip right into like some pure yellow, for example, see? Pure yellow. And then if you wanted to, let me do it this way. You know, you could put like a few little extra like highlights on there, but you know, maybe be careful, you know, doing something like this, because this is how I always tell people, like, don't get carried away. And this is exactly how to get carried away right here, by dropping in extra layers, because we're not thinning any of this down, and we got like 3 different layers of paint on here already. So be careful with that. All right, so while we got that yellow color, I'm gonna try to add just some subtle, see this? Little subtle areas of light. You know, since the light we said is coming from this way. See? Just subtle little areas like that. All right, let me set this down up, I mean. Let's go back to our filbert brush here, and I do want to get, let's get some brown and a little bit of black. We already got black down here, but I want to get some brown. And I do want to sprinkle some of this brown color in here like this. All right. Something like this. And I'm just using the filbert to, you know, if you hit any of the green area, we could just simply just go right back over it. So don't let that ruin your day. You know, it's like, you know, stuff happens, you know what I mean? Things happen. Everything is fixable. I always say that in the classes, you know, because everything is definitely fixable. All right, so we got some brown in there. That looks pretty cool. I'm going to wipe the filbert. I'm going to wipe the filbert off. And then I think let's grab some yellow ochre. I'm going to put that just somewhere here. All right, yellow ochre, and maybe just a touch of brown. Just it kind of dulls it a little bit so it's not super bright. Same brush, filbert, okay? Light's coming like this. So I'm just going to throw some of this color, one stroke it like this. See? And then just think about, you know, where is the light really gonna, where is it gonna hit? So I want to get this basic area in like this. And light's not going to hit everywhere in here. It's going to hit in some areas. All right. All right, so that kind of gives us a little bit of something there. And I'm going to get a little bit more brown mixed with that ochre. It's not as dark as the original brown, but it's a little bit lighter, okay? Okay, let me wipe this off. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of white. A little bit of white, some yellow ochre, and some brown. Okay, right there, white, yellow, ochre, brown. It's a nice peachy color. And then, light's coming in. I'm going to hold my brush a little bit different. I'm going to hold it like this. This helps the paint come off much easier. See? Something like this. And I'm going to just work it into these areas up here carefully, just so there's not like a hard line. And I want it to be like indented. I want it to look like this little road or whatever this thing is. I want it to look like it drops down into the ground, see? Just like this. All right, so that light's shining kind of right down into the road, if you know what I'm saying. And if you want, let's do this. Let's take a little bit of this Prussian blue. I'm mixing it right into our little pile there. I'm going to a little brown in it. That'll gray it, which is totally good. See? Prussian blue, a little bit of brown. And then don't overdo this, but this is like for foreground only. And this here is like little shadow areas. See? This might just give it a little extra something. That's all. And not up close either. This is something that you'll notice, you know, when you're 10 feet back looking at the painting. Okay? I'm just kind of putting it a little bit here and there. All right, you see that? Those could be little shadow colors. And then I'm going to wipe the filbert real quick. And if you want, you could just kind of, so they're not so harsh, just, you know, smooth the edges out of this. Something like that, you see? All right, and if you want to get real crazy, we'll do this. We're going to just get some white, a touch of yellow ochre. So white and a touch of yellow ochre. All right, and then let's just think about the sun's, remember we said right here? So these are like our, you know, final little highlight areas, okay? See? That sun's not going to go everywhere. It's going to shine some areas though. A little bit back there maybe. See? All right, so it's like shining down into there. That sunlight is getting onto here, All right, wiping the filbert off now. Filbert wiped off. All right, back to the 1-inch brush. Because I said light shining down in here, now we have to go back into our yellow. Touch of green. And we have to put a highlight. I'm tapping it, see that? Just a beautiful green color. So boom, our light's kind of going right into here. So this edge is definitely going to catch, in my opinion. I think we're going to catch some right here and right there. So I'm just pulling, just tapping, boom, boom, boom. And a little bit there, boom, like this, see? And you don't have to kill this too much because you don't want to have too much light in here, you know what I'm saying? But just this one area, I'm going to do this, watch this. I'm going to get some white paint with some bright yellow. Tap, 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 1 inch, right? For that light, I'm going to go like this. Right there. Because we know it's definitely, we think it's hitting, in this little area right there. See that? That's the light shining down. So now let's do this. Let's put some here. Just in a few little areas, And I keep going down to get more. Super important. See? Super, super important. Boom. Kind of shining down. Right into there. All right, see that? And I probably went overboard, all right, on that. So let me get some green on here, just kind of green it up a little bit. Green, just a darker color. Not a darker, oh, it is darker. But I wanted to kind of blend this a little bit in the back. Maybe some yellow ochre possibly. Mix it in, just so it doesn't look like a straight line of highlight, you know what I mean? See, some there, something like that. Because that light's just kind of overhead at this point, you know what I mean? Just shining right in. All right, wiping the 1 inch off. Gonna get some green, just some green, tiny bit of yellow. It's like a mid-tone color. Let me see if this is too bright. Nope, this is good. I want to go right into this path to make it look a little bit more believable. So your greens and some yellow ochres and stuff, see that? Kind of work this down. See? Right into the path. Like it just drops right down into there. See that? Nice. We got to do something right here now. Yellow ochre and green. Just going to lighten this color up just a bit, just for a subtle highlight. It's too bright. Let's try some red. We haven't tried any red yet today. Red, yellow ochre, and some yellow, just for the close-up highlights. Nice. Now, because we put some there, we probably should put just a little bit of it over there, something like that. Something just like that. Let's see. All right. Let's do this real quick. I don't want to get too picky with this, but I'm going to take a medium green, which is, there was some green and a little bit of black in there. And I want to, a little bit darker, a little bit more green, a little bit of black, touch of blue, tapping into this. And I want to try to maybe put something in front of these distant trees. See this? I'm holding the brush up, and I'm only giving it like 1 or 2 taps. I just want it to be something in front. See that? And then you could turn the brush flat if you want for the stuff that's, you know, maybe in the distance. So it just sort of looks like another another layer. Another little layer. All right. Now let me grab this filbert, and because I feel like I need to drag some of this, and I feel like it'll look better if I do that. But I don't want these straight lines, so I'm going to go back and forth and just kind of chop things up a little bit. See that? Something like this. Steal some paint from there. See, you can use it up here. A lot of different things you can do. I just want it to look rugged, like rocky, you know what I mean? Not rocky, but roady. Is that a word? Roady. I want it to look roady. Boy, I think that's my sign for the day. See, that path goes right back there. See that? Drops down like this. Maybe there's some little rocks back there. Another cool thing we can do, watch this. Let's just get some black. There is some blue right there, totally fine. A little bit of black and blue. See that? Black and blue, and I want it to be darker, so let's just use pure black. See? I'm gonna go like this. Just drop in some shapes. I don't know, you know, this could be anything. Little textures. It could be like little brown in there. Let's see what this does. Black and brown. You know, this could be like anything, little rocks or whatever. See that? And just kind of mix them up a little bit, and it just makes it look a little bit more rugged, which is cool. See? Let's put one here. See that? Kind of grows right into the grass. It just gives it that extra something that we're all looking for, you know? Drop a few back here to make it look like they actually belong there. See? So brown, black, and then look, one right there. All right. And I think we should have, you know, one right here. Just actually, let's put a big one in. Brown. I'm using brown and black, and you know, there's a touch of blue, I guess, from time to time. See that? And I'm just using the filbert. Little ones in between, you know, just could be a land rock formations that were in the land, you know, years ago or something, you know what I mean? So we put a few back here. You know, and I wasn't planning on that, but those are those are there now, you see? All right. All right, now, excuse me. I'm just going to grab the knife real quick because I don't want to go over top with the filbert with what we just did there, because that could mess it up. Because we, you know, it's a little bit of, you know, it's thick paint on there, you know what I mean? All right, knife. So I want to make this, so let's do this. So a little bit of blue. I'm going to take some, look, blue, white, and a little bit of black and red. Blue, white, black, and red. That's okay if you get a little mud in there, you know, that's no problem. Let's see what we get from this color. A little bit of blue, white, black, a little bit more black. Blue, white, black, red. All right. A little bit of a purpley color, I suppose. So I'm just going to drop on, see? And you know what? I would recommend using probably the small part of the knife for this. All right, I'm just going to drop on a few of these mid-tone looking things. They're not highlights, but they're like mid-tone highlights. Just a few here, there. All right, just on all the little rocks, just a little bit. Don't overdo this. A little bit back here, not too much on the ones in the back. And then same here, some here, see? Just stick to the top a little bit. See? All right, and that gives us a little bit of like a mid-tone color. Now, I'm gonna wipe the knife off, and let me grab just some white. White, mix it in with our color that we just mixed, that purpley color. All right, maybe a little bit of brown. Let's try to throw some brown into that color and see what we get. All right, it's a nice color. And then maybe just get some paint on there, right? Get some on the knife and then right down like this. Follow those edges. Nice. Not too much, not too much. You could definitely overdo this. You don't want to do that. See that? Drop some there. Nice little, just easy pressure. And just, I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just kind of, you know, just getting it on there. See? And that'll, you know, it'll start to look like a little rock formation. And you can come back and like detail the areas, you know, whatever, drag some of this paint from here to there, you know, just to like kind of make it look full. All right. You can do so many things with this. Let me have a step back and take a look at this. Cool. And then if you want, you can take some blue and black, right? Let's just put it over here for now. Some blue, black, and let's just say some brown. It's really just some dark color. All right, blue, black, and brown. Get a little bit on there. And if you want, you could, just to make it look textured, you can take the knife and drop some of this in, right in the path, see? Just like this. And then drag it around. It'll give it a nice, cool, textured feel, you know? Get it in there and then shoo. It's just something that I like to do also. And then I come back and I scratch it around a little bit, see? Scratch it. It makes it look a little bit more natural. You know, when you scratch it, it just looks more rugged. It looks more like, you know, like an actual road. You know, and then come back and, like I said, drag some of these down, see? Like this. And then you might want to add some of that dark color. You know, you might want to add some of the dark color in, you know, to your rocks right here, you know? It really is just, you can do so much. You can do so much. But don't overdo. That's super important. Don't overdo. You want this to be fun. You want this to be a release for you, something fun to do, you know, and that is the goal, the ultimate goal. All right, well, I think we're done. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you tried it. I hope you just painted this picture. If so, email me a picture of your completed painting. Like I said, if you're on Patreon, I will have a completed picture on there, like a reference photo of this actual painting and the full video with the color mixing on there. I want to thank you guys for watching. What can I say? You have now inspired me. So I will see you on the very next video. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. I love you guys. I will see you very soon. See ya.